Hello friends, my name is Vivek Sharma. Today we can cover this interesting problem that's called peaking iterator. So in this problem what we need to do, we need to design a peaking iterator, right? So in Java, iterator is already there, right? So iterator is already an interface in Java where we can use this iterator to traverse through any collection object, right? So iterator mainly have couple of methods, right? One is the next method, another is having the has next method, right? But in this design question we need to define this additional method that's called peak, right? So let's try to understand this problem a little bit here. So 1 2 3, let's say this is the array, right? And so in this array, with the example call next gets you 1, right? First element in the list. So if we will call next method basically on this array, then what it should return, it should return 1 here, right? Because 1 is the first element. Now after calling the next method, the pointer will come here. So that is the basically functionality of the next method, right? Whenever you will call the next method, it will move forward the pointer. So the pointer will be on the 2 itself, on 2, on the next element, right? Now your pointer is on the next element. Now if you will call the peak, then peak should return 2, right? Because pointer is here. Okay. And if you will call has next, either on 2 or either on 1, it should return true because it is still having the next element. All right. So now if you will call the next method again after peak, then it should still return true because 2 is the next element, right? And the pointer will move to 3. So if you will call next method basically even before moving this pointer, right? So if pointer is here, the next should return 2 here. Okay. So rather than 1, it should return 2. And now move the pointer 3 here. And after, now if you call the next method, it already moved the pointer. Now if you will call peak, what is on the peak? So on the peak basically 3 is there. So now the peak should return 3 because on the peak 3 is there, right? And if you will call next method again, then it should return 3, right? Because on next method it is 3 is here. And if you will call has next now, then it should return false, right? So has next should return false because it is the last element and there is no next element. So these are the functionalities for each and every method, and if it is still not clear or it is very high level clear, it is fine. We'll just let's go ahead and create couple of placeholders and then probably it will be little bit more clear. So let's go ahead and declare one itr, like this is kind of the iterator class because we are already implementing iterator, so that we can declare this guy here. Now we will be taking one one class level variable that's called next as well, because we need to have one variable that we can play with in these methods peak and next, right? And then another is basically we need to take the boolean flag is done. Is done means is complete or something, right? Whether processing is done or not. All right, so now let's go ahead and start from constructor itself. So what we will do, we will assign we will basically assign this class level variable with this iterator, right, with this parameter. So itr, if it we will assign with the iterator, right? And we will check if iterator itr dot has next means if this iterator is having any next value or not. Why we are checking this in the constructor, right? So why we are checking this in the constructor, see this example, right? So we were having this example 1 2 3, and now we need to call the next method, right? So once we will call the next method, we should have this value somewhere stored. And if we don't have the value stored, then basically we basically again we calling the next method in the next method. So if we will don't have if we don't have this value stored, then we will manually move that pointer, we will call the next method and then we will return. But the drawback with that approach will be, if we don't have the store, let's say after next if it is calling peak, right, then we again have to store somewhere, right? Because the nature of this problem is basically whenever you will call the peak, it should have the element that is already in the peak, right? So it is a good idea, or it is little convenient, while constructing the object itself you move that pointer forward and you basically assign this value to the next, so that you will already have that pre-computed next. So whenever you will call peak or next or no matter what it is, at least you will have this value, right? So that's why we are doing this. Okay, so next equals to itr dot next, and in this case is done will be false because we are still processing. Okay, if has next is not there means there is no element, right? It means like, oops, looks like I close that tab, but let me reopen. So let's say if it is the last element here, right? So if it is 3 already, then has next should return false, right? In that case processing is complete, so is done would be true here, and next will be null because there is no next element in that case, right? So then in that case we will assign next as a null. Now what is in the peak? We simply will return next here, that's it, right? Because we already pre-computed next in this case, right? So if you already pre-computed the next, then basically see here, call next that gets you 1, right? The first element in the list, and once you call the peak it should return 2, right? So next will return 1, and after calling next if you will call peak then it should return true, right? But if initially itself it will return peak, then it should return 1 itself, right? So that's why we need to pre-compute this one. Pre-compute this one means the next element. And also next what we will do, we will simply go ahead and return next, right? Because next we already pre-computed. Or in other word, basically we can just store this value in some variable, let's say int val is next, and then return this val. Why we are doing so? So that we can have the next element here, right? So here we will get the next element, next item from iterator or in iterator, right? From iterator. Okay, what is has next? Has next is if processing is done or not, right? So if it is not done, then means basically if processing is done means it is true, right? Then in that case it should return false, right? Because the element is already there. But if it is the last element, right, and this done is already basically there is no more element, right? So if this basically we are doing it false, if we are doing it is true, has next means if it is already has next means if it is already having one element, right, already the next element, then it will be false, right? So in that case it will keep returning true, right, if it is having some value, right? Because false would be true here. And if it does not have any value, then we are assigning it as a true in the constructor itself, right? In that case it will return false because true, and then we are using this not, so not true will be false itself, so there will not be any element, right? So this is pretty simple, right? So this was the diagram, right? So one, and then basically we will call next, so the one we will be returning, this next will return 1, but what it will do, next method will move the pointer to the next element 2, right? And once we will call peak now, then peak should return 2, right? And if we will call next again, then next will return 2 and the pointer will be coming to 3. And now if you will call has next, then has next will return false because there is no element after 3. But if you will call has next to this element whenever it is 2, then it should return true basically, right? Has next, I am talking about has next method, right? So I think this should be clear. Now basically here you will get the next element from iterator. How you will get? You will simply copy this logic, that's it, right? So let's go ahead and do that. Control C and then Control V. So what we are doing, if it is has next is there, means some element there in the constructor, not the constructor but in the iterator. If there is some next element in the iterator, then what we are taking, we are getting the next element from the iterator, and we are saying is done is false, means the processing has not been completed yet. And if it is has next is returning basically false, right, means what does that mean? That means that iterator has been empty, and let's assign this next with the null, and his is done is true, means processing is completed. So that's the very simple code, right? Now let's go ahead and compile this for the compilation error. So we have to resolve the compilation error, so we need to use the next method right here. and similarly here as well, next method. This is like the next method itself, right? See here, this is the next method, right? So this is nothing like we are implementing the same way. This is how iterator works really in Java, right? So this implementation does not need any additional knowledge that how this iterator interface should work, right? This is exactly how iterator interface works in Java or maybe in other languages as well, right? So iterator is nothing but it is a whenever we have to traverse through the collection object is nothing but it might be like different kind of the objects, right? So for example, if it is integer, right, you can easily do that in the similar way in one type of the object, right? You can easily store and you can traverse through by the array or any other data structure. But if it is the mixed data type, if it is the like object data types, different variety of the data types, then how you will traverse? So that's why this iterator interface is there. And we can typecast this. We can just pass any object class, any type here in the iterator, and then on the basis of that type we can just go ahead and we can iterate through, right? So key methods here were next and has next. The only additional method here is peek, and because we have to return this next method, that's why we are pre-computing this next basically here in the constructor itself, so that we can take that advantage, and then we can reuse this next method next value basically in the next. Whenever we are calling the next, then we can directly return that next, and then we can pre-compute again the next value for the next iteration. So what we are doing, we are pre-computing this next value basically, right? We are pre-computing for the next iteration or the next step, so that we don't have to do it in the uh, later in the, we don't want to do the lazy computing, but we are doing the pre-computing here, right? So that we can return whenever it is needed. All these operations here is in the order one. Like if we calculate the complexity here, the time complexity with all these operations are order one, and space complexity is also order one, because we are not taking any additional storage or anything, right? We are just declaring these variables, and then class member variables we are taking, and then we are just defining those class member variables, and then we are doing order of one operation. So see here, excuse me. So in the peak basically we are returning just the next, and the next as itself we are doing the has next, we are doing only one time, so it is like order of one operation, and then we are returning value, and also it is like is done or not is done. So hopefully this might be a little bit clear. We already compiled, and then let's go ahead and try to run this problem. So this is like working fine conceptually. This problem is working fine conceptually. So hopefully this is useful, and let's go ahead and let's quickly do the summary before ending this video. So summary is basically, because this is the iterator interface, and we are following the step exactly whatever the language provides, whatever the specific language provides us, like the next and has next, right? In addition to this, we are adding here the peek method itself. That is basically one separate method, but its peek is nothing but it is basically here the definition of peek. It is returned by the next call to the next. So what does that mean? Whenever it is 1 2 3 is the array, and if you call the next, basically it will get you 1, and after that if you will call peek, then it should return 2, right? So that's what exactly we are doing here. If it is 1 2 3, and if you will call next method initially, then it should return basically 1, and the pointer will be coming here, right? And then if you will call peek, then peek should return 2, right, not 1, because pointer has been moved after next method, next calling the next method, right? So now the peek will be 2, and if you will call peek, it will return 2, and if you will call next, then it should again return 2 itself, right? It should not return 3, it should return 2, right? It should return 2. So next method should return 2, and then the pointer will be coming to the next element, next item in the iterator. So to accommodate all these functionalities, that's why we are pre-computing the next here. That's the only trick, or you can say this is the only key observation here. Once we got this point, then this is like straightforward. We just pre-compute this next, just return the next, similarly return next here as well, and pre-compute for the next iteration here, again the next, and another boolean flag as well. So this is like pretty straightforward. Follow up, like how would you extend your design to be generic and work with all the types, not just integer? So remember, here we are taking the wrapper class, so we are not dealing with the primitive types, right? So it's not int, it is the integer wrapper class, capital INTEGER, right? Similarly, if we have to deal with other generic objects, we can create our own class, and then we can pass that object here in the iterator interface, and then we can deal similarly whatever we are doing the with this um, integer, right, the wrapper class. So similarly we can do that. It should not be basically state, I mean, it should not be a too much big deal. It was a big deal if we are using here the int, not integer, right? So if basically we cannot use the int here itself, because it should be, it is the iterator and it works on the collection, so we cannot do that. But let's say if we are using int here itself, right? So then basically we have to might be think like, okay, how we change this primitive type to the wrapper class or to the object class, object label. But if, because, but here, because we are already using the wrapper classes, we are already dealing with the objects, so it is very easy extendable to the other object types as well. So hopefully this is useful. Thanks a lot, have a good one, bye.